Good morning. It's Monday, August 25th. Here's what we're working on this morning. A section of Niagara Street in Welland is closed after reports of a pedestrian being struck.
Prime Minister Mark Carney makes a surprise visit to Ukraine.
And the Niagara River Lions are once again the Canadian Elite Basketball League champions. Good Monday morning. Kind of feels like a Monday, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And it's cool feeling this morning, I'll tell you.
I really like how comfortable it is.
It is refreshing, yes.
Yeah, it's a nice change after all the heat and humidity we did have. So our temperature is sitting at 12 right now. So it's a nice fresh start to a Monday. Yay, it's Monday. Let's get going here. Seeing as we're here, we might as well do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. All right, we're looking at a mainly cloudy day. I know the skies are fairly clear right now, and the sun isn't up yet. Doesn't come up till 6:36 now. But we will see some sun this morning. Then we're going to get some clouds. Then we could get some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm this afternoon. But for the next couple of days, we're going to be below seasonal. Temperature today about 22. Tomorrow about 21. So the cool temperatures will continue. As I said, we're sitting at 12 right now, even though the sky is mainly clear. So details on the forecast coming up. Let's have a quick check on the road, see what's going on this Monday morning. And there's nothing going on. Here's the 403 and Waterdown Road. That looks pretty good at the moment. So rolling nicely all the way through Hamilton, Ancaster, no problems. Check some MTO traffic cameras, see if we can find anything. There's not a lot happening throughout the St. Catharines area. Here's the QEW Highway 405, top of the Burlington Skyway, all the way through Appleby Line. It's pretty light so far, which is good. So we will get you into this Monday morning. We'll check weather and traffic coming up in detail. Right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. A pedestrian was struck in Welland last night. A person at the scene tells us Niagara Police and EMS were called to Niagara Street and Roger Drive just after 11 p.m. Police blocked off the road with yellow tape, and a running shoe was seen in the middle of the street. Our freelancer says the pedestrian was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police told our freelancer the road would remain closed well into the morning. We have reached out to Niagara Police and are still waiting to hear back with more details.
Hamilton police are asking witnesses to come forward after a woman on a mobility scooter was killed. Late Friday afternoon, a vehicle collided with the scooter at the corner of Maple and Grosvenor Avenues near Maine and Ottawa. The crash killed a 62-year-old woman on the scooter. Her name has not been released. Detectives with Hamilton's Collision Reconstruction Unit are asking anyone in that area to check surveillance cameras.
A cyclist has died after a crash in Oakville last week. Last Tuesday morning, a bike and a car collided on Rebecca Street near 3rd Line. It happened at the entrance to South Oakville Center, which the driver of the car was turning into. The cyclist, a 67-year-old man from Burlington, later died in hospital.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is visiting Warsaw, Poland today for trade, defense, and energy talks after a surprise visit to Kyiv yesterday, where he took part in Ukraine's Independence Day celebrations. During a news conference with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Carney says Canada could deploy military troops to Ukraine as part of an eventual security guarantee against Russia.
We're investing today $2 billion in new military assistance for Ukraine. $800 million of this will help strengthen Ukraine's arsenal for the most urgently needed defense equipment, drones, ammunition, armored vehicles. We'll also fund over $200 million for the joint production of defense materials in our two countries, particularly advanced drones using Canadian suppliers. And another $165 million for critical multilateral efforts, including, again, enhancing drone resources, as well as more money for humanitarian assistance to support civilians affected by this horrific war.
Canada has been part of talks for more than 2 years, trying to help secure a peace deal in Ukraine. Meantime, our country is falling short of its pledge to put more women in United Nations peacekeeping missions. Only 2 female soldiers are currently deployed. UN data shows 29 Canadians are serving overall, 18 armed forces officers, 6 police, and 5 experts. Defense officials say the numbers shift over time, pointing to women who are serving in NATO and other peace operations. Canada now ranks 74th in UN contributions, far below the more than 3,000 troops our country sent in the 1990s. An evacuation order in Nova Scotia has been expanded as crews in Annapolis County brace for a difficult day fighting an out-of-control fire. This is the second time the evacuation order has been expanded due to a fire that's been burning since the middle of the month. That fire covers an area about 32 square kilometers. Air Canada customers who want to file a complaint with the regulator over their experience during the flight attendant strike should brace for a long wait. The Canadian Transportation Agency says its backlog of air travel complaints was about 85,000 as of August 14th, and that's 2 days before that flight attendant strike started. The backlog has been growing since the federal government passed rules that came into effect in 2019 that set compensation amounts for flight delays, cancellations, and other things. The CTA says that in 2024-25 fiscal year, it closed more than 33,000 complaints, a sharp increase from previous years, but still not enough to reduce a growing backlog.
Time for Sportsline. It was so good the first time, the Niagara River Lions did it again.
Niagara, I'm sure, on its feet. And it's over. The roar has been restored. The Lion King does it again. Niagara has run it back.
Niagara beat Calgary 79-73 to win the CEBL championship last night for their second straight title. Niagara's Khalil Ahmad was named finals MVP for the second straight year after he scored 16 points, including the game winner, and recorded 9 rebounds. With the win, the River Lions joined Edmonton in 2020 and 21 as the only teams ever to win 2 consecutive crowns.
I mean, being in Niagara means a lot to me, it means the world. So going back to back, can't put words on it.
Just over 7,100 fans attended the final at Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg to close out the CEBL's 7th season. "Oh Canada" was being sung loud and proud in Mississauga.
The comeback is complete for the pride of Canada. Brooke Henderson wins her National Open for the second time.
Canada's Brooke Henderson shot a 4-under-67 to beat Australia's Minjee Lee by 1 stroke to win the Canadian National Women's Golf Championship. It is the second time the Smiths Falls, Ontario native has won the national title, the last of which came in 2018. It was Henderson's 14th career win on the LPGA Tour and the first since January of 2023. 15-year-old Aphrodite Deng of Calgary finished in a tie for 20th.
The agonizing wait is over. Fleetwood finally, for everything, the FedEx Cup title.
Tommy Fleetwood ended a summer of heartache by winning the Tour Championship for his first victory on tour and captured the FedEx Cup and its $10 million prize. Fleetwood shot a 2-under-68 yesterday to beat Russell Henley and Patrick Cantlay by 3 strokes. Canadian Corey Connors at a sensational 8-under-62 to tie Scotty Scheffler for 3rd place and $2.6 million. Jacob Marcy hit a bases-loaded triple in the 5th inning, and Miami held on to beat the Blue Jays 5-3. Kevin Gausman allowed 4 runs while striking out 7 batters over 6 innings. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. returned to the field for the first time since he hurt his hamstring on August 18th. He went 0 for 1 in a pinch-hitting role. Dalton Varsho hit a 3-run homer as Toronto won 2 of their 3 games in Miami. They're back home tonight to host the Twins. Well, this is cool. Ontario beat Alberta 8-5 to win the first ever women's baseball gold medal at the Canada Summer Games in St. John's. BC edged Quebec 3-2 in the men's baseball final. Meantime, the Ontario women's soccer team won its 3rd consecutive gold medal at the Canada Summer Games. Hamilton United's Chimeka Omoise scored the only goal of the match, and teammate Madeleine Boucher earned her 4th clean sheet as Ontario blanked Quebec 1-0. Ontario topped the overall medal count with 175, 2 more than Quebec. If you missed it over the weekend, Canada hammered Fiji 65-7 in their opening match at the Women's Rugby World Cup. The McMaster football team opened the OUA season with a 34-21 loss in York, while the Hamilton Hurricanes beat the Sioux 24-15. And the Rock won the Under-13 and Under-17 Junior Lacrosse League tournament in Oakville and lost in the final of the Under-15 event.
Hey, it's 10 minutes after 6 o'clock, and it's the 25th morning of August already. Yep, another Monday. Here we go. Let's get you into the roads here. Traffic this morning is doing fine. We have no word of any collisions or real slowdowns. It's getting a little busier. 403 and Waterdown Road, our exclusive camera, doing okay right there. Into some MTO traffic cameras in St. Catharines at the 406. It's very light volume through there. Starting to build a little bit here at Millen Road, Stony Creek, and definitely here at Fairview as you head toward Brant Street. So the Ford plant moving nicely through Oakville, Mississauga at Cawthra, starting to get a little slow already, as you can see. Just a bit of volume, and that's about it. All right, let's get to our temperature. Temperature this morning has just fallen a degree. We're now sitting at 11 degrees. Yep, that's a little cool to start the morning here. The relative humidity is right up there. The winds are light now. The sun's not up yet, but it will be later on this hour, and the sky is mainly clear, so we'll go with sunshine there. So the air quality risk for today, no problems in the low risk category. Looks pretty good so far. Aaron still heading up the east coast, as you can see. Becoming just a low pressure system now. It's really weakening. We have some instability in the atmosphere, and that's what could bubble up a shower or a thunderstorm later on today. Otherwise, it'll be fairly cloudy. So we'll call it a mainly cloudy day with that instability today. So what we're looking at is a temperature today below seasonal. Seasonal now is about 24, so 21, 22 around the horseshoe. No humidex because the humidity is going to be not too bad. We will see a little bit of sun in some areas, but once again, there's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. Tonight, temperatures 12 degrees, 10 degrees for Cayuga, Simcoe, Brantford at single digits for Guelph and Kitchener, down to 9. Sky will be partly cloudy tonight, so just some clouds. And then tomorrow, pretty much the same scenario as today. Mainly cloudy skies, chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures for the horseshoe about 21, a little cooler away from the lake for Guelph and Kitchener. So out the door, 25th morning of August. The sky is mainly clear, so we'll call it mainly sunny, even though the sun's not quite up yet. Our temperature is sitting at 11 degrees. Of course, long-range forecast coming up. Annette, Rick.
Thank you, Brian. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And Canada Post and postal workers are heading back to the bargaining table today. All right, let's say good morning to Emily. What's coming up in Chit Chat this morning?
Hi, good morning. Dexter, Original Sin, has been canceled despite its successful run. Yeah, they're doing something else, though, so we will check in on that.
Okay. Interesting.
And Oasis reunites for a historic show at Toronto's Rogers Stadium. We will discuss. And a K-pop animated film gives Netflix its first ever in history box office win.
Wow. Historic.
Big deal. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a big deal.
Thanks, Emily. Let's move over to business news. In overseas trading, the Canadian dollar is down a basis point to 72.32 cents U.S. Gold is down $8.80 an ounce, and crude is up 28 cents, trading just under $64 a barrel. In Europe, markets are closed in London for a holiday today, while Frankfurt and Paris are seeing some losses in midday trading.
In Asia, markets were up today in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. And on North American markets on Friday, the TSX gained over 270 points after Ottawa announced it would remove some of its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, lifting hopes for a good trade deal. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 846, and the NASDAQ closed nearly 400 points higher.
Canada Post and the union representing postal workers are set to resume talks today. A spokesperson for the Crown Corporation says Canada Post is committed to the collective bargaining process with Cup W and to reaching an agreement. Canada Post is reviewing Cup W's offers and has requested further details, adding it is in regular contact with the union through federal mediators. The comments come after negotiations that were set for Friday were delayed. The union has presented new offers to Canada Post and is asking for higher wages while allowing weekend delivery and part-time workers.
Postal services in Europe are suspending the shipment of a lot of packages to the United States because of a lack of clarity over new import duties. Postal services in Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and Italy say they are stopping shipping most merchandise to the U.S. effective immediately. France and Austria will follow later today, and the UK will follow tomorrow. That's because starting this Friday, international goods that were exempt from U.S. tariffs will be subject to import duties. That applies to merchandise over $800 U.S. Letters, books, gifts, and small parcels worth less than $100 U.S. will be exempt.
The U.S. Central Bank could soon cut its key interest rate.
The effects of tariffs on consumer prices are now clearly visible. We expect those effects to accumulate over coming months, with high uncertainty about both timing and amounts. The question that matters for monetary policy is whether these price increases are likely to materially raise the risk of an ongoing inflation problem. A reasonable base case is that the effects will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. Of course, one time does not mean all at once. Nonetheless, with policy in restrictive territory, the baseline outlook and the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
President Donald Trump has long been calling for interest rate cuts and has attacked Jerome Powell for months. Despite that, during Friday's speech, Powell reaffirmed that Fed officials will make their decisions based on economic data, not political forces.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc says the decision to drop some retaliatory tariffs on U.S. products puts Canada in a better position to negotiate. LeBlanc says it eases tensions ahead of a review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade, CUSMA. Our retaliatory tariffs were a significant point of contention for the Trump administration. On Friday, Prime Minister Carney announced the removal of tariffs on U.S. products to match U.S. tariff exemptions for goods that are covered under CUSMA. However, Canada's counter tariffs on steel, aluminum, and automobiles is still in place.
Canadian retail sales rose 1.5% in June, helped by increased spending at food and beverage stores. Statistics Canada says a preliminary estimate shows sales fell 0.8% in July, though that number could be revised. Clothing, accessories, footwear, jewelry, luggage, and leather goods retailers jumped 5.1%, while general merchandise stores climbed 1.6%.
Ottawa's annual Pride Parade was cancelled yesterday after disruptions from pro-Palestinian protesters. Queers for Palestine Ottawa organized a rally to coincide with the Pride Parade. Elected officials and other groups boycotted last year's Pride Parade after Capital Pride released a statement expressing solidarity with Palestinians. A video posted online shows a protester calling on Capital Pride to recommit to solidarity with Palestinians and for the politicians who boycotted the parade last year to apologize. Ottawa's mayor was at the parade before it was canceled and says it is a deeply regrettable move that the activists chose to block the event.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
6:23 as we get into this Monday morning, 25th of August. Check our MTO traffic cameras. Once again, nothing happening in St. Catharines at the 405. Top of the Skyway Bridge is still moving nicely, so nothing has really changed there. Appleby Line doing okay. Sheraton through Mississauga will even dip into the 403 at Burnhamthorpe coming up from the Ford plant, so Toronto-bound lanes towards us on that shot. No problems on the roads this morning. Just take it carefully, please. Hamilton's temperature, well, we're the cool one here this morning. We're sitting at 11 degrees, 13 Mississauga, 15 for Toronto, 16 into Grimsby. Now, seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 24 and 13. We're going to be below seasonal for the next couple of days. Temperatures 20 and 21. Those are our sun times and record temperatures. Speaking of sun times, sun's getting up later and later. If you are an early morning walker or bike rider, be careful because it's staying dark later and you got to be visible, okay? So black's not a good thing if you're riding in the dark, so be careful there. Oh, and speaking of walking, if you like to walk the Shed Oak Stairs, they'll be closing today at 9 o'clock this morning until 5 tomorrow afternoon for regular routine maintenance. Smoke? Question mark? No smoke exclamation mark. Nothing to see across southern Ontario. So good, yay, no smoke, so no problems with the air quality risk for the day today. So 22 degrees today. Chance of a shower or a thunderstorm later on this afternoon. Down to 12 tonight, partly cloudy. Tomorrow 21. As I said, below seasonal for the next few days. Actually, we're going to be below seasonal all the way through the 7-day forecast here. Wow. Sunny on Wednesday, cloudy on Thursday. Temperature goes 20, 22, and 22 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday into our long weekend. We'll talk about the forecast, of course, and we'll update traffic as we go through the morning. Rick and Annette.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brian. Hundreds of short-legged dogs and their owners gathered in Lithuania's capital over the weekend for the annual Corgi race.
Oh, I like the screeching stop there. Over 100 corgis from across Europe raced through a 50-meter dash while their humans cheered them on. And if the racing weren't enough, oh yes, there was a fashion show. So you saw the little airplane there, reggae, the corgi air. Oh, so cute. Love this Labubu Designs. What is that?
It's a house.
It's a house.
Yes.
Oh, it's so cute. The event is all about celebrating corgis and this special bond that they share with their owners. I've seen so many headlines for this. Little legs, big ambition.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm running fast. Look at me, look at me.
A giant spirit as well. Yeah, that house, I thought it was the Titanic at one point. The smokestacks.
Because it was kind of sinking to one side.
Yes, it was off to the side, yeah. That's a lot of fun. Stay with us, more to come after the break here on Morning Live. Good morning.
We're going to be watching this during the commercial break.
Oh, absolutely, for hours.